maintain a balance here with the help of what?
Chair.
See, this one is small one. Okay. So what you saw that in the last picture of that, that's there lying down.
Big one.
Okay. So that's a big one. In that you can use your whole upper limb or maybe your whole lower limb, not your trunk. Okay. So if you want to treat your trunk or as a body as a whole, you need which is a little bit bigger than this one. Okay. So we mainly try to use this one with this. Please come this way.
متى اختبر يا دكتور؟ خلاص
Sharing.
اكزام دكتور
Exam, خلاص.
دكتور تلميذ سندي دكتور
Today is Sunday. What time you come? Now you sleep. Come direct after the exam.
جاك 10 ونص
Go come.
إن شاء الله إكزام إن شاء الله.
شيء يساعدك ما في مشكلة
بكرة.
لا بكره لا
Okay. So where we are stopping? Yeah, balance, yes. See, it's just an idea I'm going to give you now. So you have to work, if you have the chance to work in a bigger pool or maybe in a bigger size of a Hubbard tank, it's up to you. So here what I'm trying to give you is only the basic, the technique which I show you. So you have to develop from that, keeping all the basic principles like your buoyancy, like your lever arm or whatever the physics or whatever the biomechanics you deal with level 4, level 5, including the principles of exercises, active assisted, free, everything. You have to compile everything and you have to put that in pedagogy. Okay, here I am not going to teach you level 4, level 5 biomechanics and therapeutics is no. Okay. Here I will teach only the basics of water, how to go about that. So for balance, the two things you have to consider, not only for balance, for strength training and all other activities. And please come forward. So it is basic. The basic things is, one is the buoyancy you have to consider, the first point, and the second point you have to consider is the pressure, or you say the depth in which you immerse a body part. Okay, and there are other factors such as the cross-sectional area. Okay, the weight, or you call it as the density of the treatment part. All these things you have to take in consideration. Okay, and again the other things, if you want to keep on saying, you can say like assessment, then you can say the muscle power. Okay, so there are a list of things you have to take into consideration before taking any patient into the treatment. So for balance, now this is still water. So in still water, if any patient, if you are putting down, okay, so if they are putting just only the limb, okay, if you just put only the limb, what will be the loading percentage, or how much percent of weight will be off?
75? No, not 75.
45
No, less than that, 5%.
When there will be 75 percentage of off loading?
And then I go to the chest level.
Mid chest
Mid-chest.
or zipisternum?
Yeah.
Okay. So at that level, if you immerse a patient as a whole, then the weight of the body, that is 75% of the body weight, will be off. Suppose say the patient weighs 100%, that is 100 kilo, right? If you put, or if you immerse up to the 70, that is zipisternum level, he weighs only 25 kilograms. That means what? 75 kilograms of his weight will be taken out by the water. So that is what main advantage. So when you're standing alone in the ground and when you are making the patient to put inside the water, because of this property of water, your weight is being offloaded. So because of this reason, the patient can perform all activity very freely. Okay, suppose the patient is having, for an example, osteoarthritis knee joint. If the range, if you measure it in the outer surface, that is in the ground level, and again same patient put inside into the water, if you want to compare again, measure it with goniometer, the range surely will be increased. Whether it is a passive range of motion or it is an active range of motion, it doesn't matter. Whatever the range you do try to measure with goniometer, it will be absolutely at least an increased range.
Inside the water.
Inside the water, yes.
Okay, sure.
Why? Because of this offloading property. Okay, because of this offloading property. Okay, and this mainly happens because of the buoyancy or whatever you say. Okay. So the main thing is, in the still water, if the balance is too poor for the patient, you can just ask to maintain depending upon the level, that is the depth, 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter, because you are offloading the weight. Whenever you are offloading, automatically your body is going to float. Okay, so again, that also you have to keep in mind. How much percentage of I am offloading and maintaining the patient's balance. Okay, if you want to maintain the balance, you can, if the patient balance is good, you can maintain till to more than up to the neck level, and you can also try to maintain the balance, because if you maintain or if you put the patient in neck level, you are absolutely going to make the patient to float. Okay, absolutely you are making the patient to float in the water. If you are immersing a patient up to the neck level.
How about the Parkinson's disease patient?
Sorry?
Parkinson's disease patient.
Yes.
Does it consider one of the balance?
Yeah, you can consider. Yeah, you can treat him. Yes, because that is an extra patient, so you can give him balance and coordination exercise inside the water. Tell him maybe one of the indications.
Can you give an example of immerging your hand inside the water? How many percentage does offloading require? Because if you mean the chest is 75.
See, that's what we say as a body as a whole. We are not talking about only in that patient, in the particular patient only, depending upon this small tank. That means we have to take it to the pool only. It benefit only with the pool, the bigger pool. Okay. So here there is no bigger pool available. I can demonstrate only what I have. Okay. If it is a bigger pool available, I can put you all in the pool. Don't worry. Absolutely. Yes, you were asking something.
So there is no offload and there's no offloaded here.
No, that's the offload. Offload. You can see. See, you see the weight of your hand in the outer surface, and you put your hand the same thing in the inside the water. What do you feel? Anyone want to put and see? Just check whether your weight is offloading or not. Even you are up to the wrist level. Just check. You just try to imagine the weight of your limb. What do you feel inside the, after putting your limb and inside the water? You feel some difference, right? It's become very, what do you say, free. So easy. That means it's offloading, right? So anybody understand this concept? This is very, very important. Offloading. Okay, even though whatever the small part you are trying to put, that will be offloaded. The 3 musketeers. No, sorry, you don't understand. Right. So whatever the part you put, whether it's a small or whether it's a whole body, depending upon the density of the part or the density of the treatment area, this will be offloaded. Okay. So that is the main basic principle behind doing the activity. Okay. So if the balance is very poor, you can start with the still water. Right? With the still water, only standing inside the water. Even small movement also will make him a challenge. Then if you want to give him more challenge, what you can do, you can switch on the machine slowly. Then you can, depending upon the, once the balance is increased, you can slowly increase the turbulence. Okay. Slowly increase the turbulence and ask the patient to maintain salam. And you can ask the patient to maintain it in particular position. Right? So that you can do. So now when the water is moving, you say that is turbulence. When water is not moving, that you say it is still water. So there is a difference in rehabilitating a patient with a still water and with the moving water. Okay. So now you understand the concept of how you train the balance. So when the patient balance needs more, that means you have to rehabilitate more, means start with the basic still water and then slowly increase the challenge. That means you are slowly adding the resistance or slowly adding the challenging movements to maintain the balance. Okay. So that's how you improve. So that again in that improving the balance, try to adjust which side you have to provide more force, or which side you have to provide assistance, or which area you have to improve the balance. Okay, whether it's in the knee joint, whether it's the hip joint, or it's in the wrist. So it depends. So think everything logically and apply and put the treatment area. Okay. So that's regarding with the balance. Then we come to the strength. So as we know that the strength, when you take from down to up, Okay, that is the movement which you are doing it from the down
Yeah.
to and making it come to the surface. Surface means this side. Bottom means down.
What resist?
From down bottom to the surface, it will always assist.
Assist.
Assist. It will always assist. Okay, that is against gravity.
Okay.
Against gravity. But in the ground, totally opposite. When you do like this, it is against gravity. That means you have to put more muscle work. See, I am doing suppose elbow flexion here in the ground,
Yeah.
right? So I am doing elbow flexion in the ground. So what I have to do for my biceps?
I have to flex. I'm sorry.
Biceps will have to work more or less.
Contract. No, it has to work more.
Why?
Because
Good. So because it is against gravity. But inside the water, if I put my elbow and I do it, what I do? What I feel? What my biceps? How much my biceps will work?
less working than the ground.
Okay. So anybody want to feel this difference? Working in ground and working inside the water? Anyone? You understand what I'm saying? See, the muscle has to work more when you do a movement outside the ground. Okay, suppose for example here we say elbow flexion. Elbow flexion, the muscle responsible, that is you say prime mover is biceps. Okay. For this you need to contract voluntarily more. That means you have to give more energy to the biceps to do a flexion movement. But when you take the same thing, the same movement inside, that is from down to up, okay, the movement will be very easy. That means you won't feel anything at all. You won't, that is biceps will not have to work that much more. So energy will be spent less, the patient will have the more stored energy and Murphy fatigue early. But when you do here 10 times, you fatigue, biceps become fatigue hard. Okay? Anybody? Anyone can do that. Just dip up to the elbow. Yes. No. From down. So anybody with the short liver or anybody with short Murphy, the length here. See, try to maintain at least the elbow minimum extension and then try to flex it. Okay? I think you can come. Maybe you also can. So you try to maintain elbow extension, okay? Then try to do flexion. Okay. What do you feel? Do it slowly. Do it slowly. It's easy. Go down from top to bottom. Go down.
Pressure.
Huh? Difficult. You feel more resistance. See, that is the main difference. See, when you do a particular movement from down to top, the same way you do Abdulaziz, same way you do in the ground. What do you feel? Is there any difference or inside the water? Why? What is this?
The assistant
Because the movement what is doing, that is from downward or from the bottom to the superficial surface. Okay, that means the water is going to assist the movement. Okay, so that is why your biceps has to work very less, very minimal work with the biceps. You can produce good result. But the same way, when you try to do a movement from the superficial, you are pushing down. That means the water will give you resistance.
Yeah. Pressure.
Okay, so pressure. So you have to keep this concept. Okay. That is again like elimination. Again the same way. The still water again both the side. 360 degrees you have. Whenever you are in a body, 360 degrees pressure is there. Okay, not only in one direction. All your 360 degrees is covered with water, uniform pressure. So depending upon the movement, depending upon the cross-sectional area, suppose say my palm is very small. If I want to do a movement from this to this, okay. So again say in doing exercise in the superficial, in this area, it will be very easy. It will be very easy. And again when you go down and try to do the movement, it will be difficult. Why? Because there is a pressure variation, that is a depth. So depending upon the depth increase, it will give you more pressure, that is it is directly proportional. So what will happen? You have to spend more energy again. So these are all the concepts you have to keep in mind whenever you are putting a patient into the rehabilitation pool. Okay, so again like for this also you can start, if you want make the patient to start a little bit easy, ask the patient to do it in a superficial manner. If you want to give him a little bit complicated, take the patient a little bit down, give him the maximum depth or pressure so that the pressure is more. Try to overcome that pressure. That is adding resistance or whatever it is. The same way, see the cross sectional area is small. If anybody is more bigger than this, okay, if they try to do a movement, right?
Yeah.
Like apes or maybe any other thing or any other addition if I have, okay, like flotation device or boots. If I can have and I can do means I can provide easily the strength. Okay, that is the resistance move. Okay, so that's how you build up resistance, right? So that is for strength training. You can use that.
Okay, is there anything here in the lab? One of the resistance?
That's what I say. Anybody which will have bigger palms, they can do and try.
Okay.
Or maybe with two. Anyone want to do that? Come. Okay. Put your
La ilaha illallah.
both yours, because we are trying to increase the cross sectional area. Mafi only the single palm. So the two palms, try to do flexion and extension. You try to do it in outer surface. What do you feel? The same you compare it with the down.
Okay, out.
Here we are going to see only the resistance. The feeling of resistance will be more in a particular direction of movement. Yeah, anything with the sideways movement. Or maybe you can say even in this also. Up and down also, even left and right also. No problem. Only the wrist movement. Just do the wrist movement. Feel any difference? No.
Wrist.
Only the wrist. See, no flexion of this one. See, try to keep your MCP straight. Stand up. Yes. Try to do only flexion. Straight. Do extension. Flexion.
Right.
Always come that side. See. Yes.
يقول نقل ملفات ما خلصوا.
See,
بدأ الحين يشتغل على أي ذاكرة ما أدري.
Up.
كذا شغال صح؟
Rest flexion. Rest flexion. Yes. Extension. Yes. Do same. Repeat. Yes. So what do you feel now?
Easy outside.
Huh?
Outside.
Upside easy. Okay. Down.
Down.
Down it's easy or
No, down.
when you move your that is doing wrist extension. What do you feel?
Same.
Same. It can't be the same. Do wrist flexion. Okay. Extension. You don't feel anything when you do extension?
Extension
Difficult?
Yes.
Why? Before only you said no difference, now you're saying difficult. Why?
No, you give more power when he do the extension down.
Yeah, that's what. That is whenever you're trying to do a movement from superficial to down, you have to give have to give more pressure. Okay. So again, that's it. Again, you can increase the surface area for increasing the strength. Okay. So sideways you can add the dumbbells, the weights, anything you can do that. So that is with your strength training. Listen guys. That is with your strength training. Okay. So I think we finished balance, we finished strength. And what's the next thing we have seen? The wound. Okay. So for wound, suppose if anybody is having a superficial wound or burns, you can again the same take the patient's the treatment area which is applicable for this tub, Hubbard tank, treat it with the, if it is in the wrist and the hand, treat here, or in the ankle and the feet, treat it in this tub. If it is in the whole limb, maybe the elbow or there, take it to the bigger one, Hubbard tank. Yes.
When you say wound, an open wound,
Yeah, open. Yes.
a scar one after the healing or before?
Before healing itself. Yeah, it's in the acute stage. Yes, in the acute stage, initial acute stage of healing.
Okay. And
Sorry?
blood.
It's not like hemorrhage, not like full bleeding. Like the you have seen wound or not? Not
Yeah.
acute bleeding. Okay, when the bleeding is stopped, I'm not talking about the cut. Talking about the lacerations. You know what is the meaning of laceration? Good. So when you maybe the scratch or what you say, that is lacerations. So that type of a wound you can treat it. They are better in this. Okay. So again you can add some antiseptic solutions, and again after that once the treatment is done, again you have to change the water. Okay. And again after once you do this, you can also do the covering also outside if you know. If you have the antiseptic solutions, antiseptic sterile cloth, if you have everything. I think in the video you might have seen that. So it's a whirlpool wound, the treatment thing. That video, you have seen that. I'm sure someone see guys. Maybe someone who does that. No problem. You can get it later.
Okay.
So in that is mainly for wound. So you can do that for wound. And what is the next one? Relaxation. Anybody can go.
Sedation.
Just go open your tongue.
Sedation.
Relax. That is for sedation and relaxation. Okay. And the last one. Sorry. Yeah, mobilization. Mobilization is yes again. Mobilization is increasing your range of motion. The same thing, depending upon the depth, you take the patient. Okay?
You do it
And
inside the.
yeah, inside the bone. Same thing. Same thing for the wrist also. You can do. You can mobilize it. Okay, inside with the help of the benefit of the water. Again, you are trying to reduce the compressive force in the joint area. Okay, then again with the assistance or with the help of buoyancy, and again with the help of the depth of water, you can do the mobilization. And again, you are going to increase the range. So everything can be done in the water, but you have to apply the basic principles. In which direction?
First, the strength,
First the balance,
balance and strength,
strength,
and
mobilization,
and
wound,
relaxation as well.
wound and relaxation. These are all the main thing you have to concentrate. Okay, these are all the. This technique is applicable to larger pool, smaller pool. Doesn't matter. You have to think of what is the treatment area, what are the basic principles you have to adapt. That's it.
You say
And
mobilize.
again, main thing is dealing with still water and with the turbulence. Okay, these two things will make a difference always.
One concept. I will take the concept, buoyancy and.
Yes, you have to take the concept. If you don't know the concept, you will not able to treat or rehabilitate a patient with water. Alas.
Yeah. Doctor, about the mobilization, you say mobilization. I will do it inside the water for patient.
Yes. Inside the water. Yes.
The position.
The
Inside
position.
the water, not in the outside the ground. Outside also you can do it. No problem. But inside also you can do that. If you do that inside, the range again the patient will be pain free.
Yeah. And
So the range will be increased more. Whatever you do inside, if you do in the water, you will appreciate more range, more decrease in pain, okay, more decrease in spasm. Everything will be in increasing order when you do that or perform that activity in the ground level. Doing it in the bedside is totally different. Doing it inside the water is totally different. Doing it inside water will give you the best benefit comparing to
How
outside.
the position of the patient?
Sorry.
The position of the patient.
Yeah, that depends upon what area you are going to treat, which joint you are going to treat.
For example, the shoulder. How is this?
Take him to the bigger pool.
Hold on.
It is not possible in here, this one. Bigger pool.
ذاكرة تقريبية.
Bigger pool. That's what. You have to apply the basic principles. I cannot provide you the bigger pool, sorry.
Okay. We talked about our techniques
Yes,
today.
Yes.
The exam, the
Yes.
practical exam.
Yes.